Assalamu-Alikum and welcome back. So, in this chapter, the test of hypothesis and significance, we will discuss some other point like the level of significance. So, what is level of significance? Level of significance is the maximum probability of rejecting the null hypothesis when it is actually true. The level of significance is denoted by alpha, as we already discussed in the previous class, which is also known as the size of the test. The level of significance is usually specified before a test is made. The probability of accepting a true hypothesis is 1 minus alpha, which is called the level of confidence. In practice, the value of 5% or we can say alpha equal to 0.05 or 1%, where alpha is 0.01, is frequently used to set the level of significance. We will accept that the probability of making an error of rejecting the hypothesis when it is true is 5%. In other words, we are 95% or 0.095 confident that we are making a correct decision. So what is the second point? The second point is critical region or rejection region. So what is critical region or rejection region? Critical region is the part of the sampling distribution of a statistic which lead to a rejection of the null hypothesis. The sample values beyond which H naught is rejected are called acceptance region. One-tailed test and two-tailed test. A test of any statistical hypothesis for which the rejection region or critical region or level of significance is located at one side of the sampling distribution is known as one-sided or one-tailed test. In one-tailed test, the alternative hypothesis, or we can say H1, is formulated as follow. Like H0, where H0 is known as null hypothesis, where mu equals to mu naught. But in alternative hypothesis, we denoted it with the help of H1, where mu is less than mu naught, or we can say mu is greater than mu naught. A test of any statistical hypothesis for which the rejection region or critical region level of significance is located at both sides of the sampling distribution is known as two sides or two-tailed test. In two-tailed test, the alternative hypothesis H1 is formulated as follows. So, how we can draw the two-tailed test? Like we have this is the diagram where this is the two-tailed test. We will further simplify it in the next class with the help of example as well. So here H naught, or we can say null hypothesis E, where mu equals to mu naught, or H1, or we can say alternative hypothesis where mu is not equals to mu naught. Test of hypothesis and significance. Test of hypothesis or test of significance are the method which help us to decide whether a hypothesis is true or not. If the value of statistic lie in the critical region, we shall reject the null hypothesis or say that the result is significant. If a hypothesis is rejected at 5% level of significance, it is called significant, and if a hypothesis is rejected at 1%, it is said to be a highly significant. The word significance has a technical meaning different from its ordinary meaning. In statistics, the word significant means the rejection of null hypothesis. If we accept the null hypothesis, the result is insignificant. The statistic on which the decision whether to accept or reject the null hypothesis is based on the test statistic. So testing of hypotheses involves the following steps. Number one, state null hypothesis where H not with an alternative hypothesis. And the second step is decide level of significance. The third step is state the test statistic to be used. The fourth step is compute the value of the test statistic. The fifth step is select a region of rejection or critical region. And the sixth is the last step where we conclude that the reject or accept the null hypothesis.